everyone, welcome to the next video in this series from Ivy and the Inky Butterfly using Polychromos pencils. Now in yesterday's video I was pondering about this pot here and whether to put some white pen on it and in various places like I did with this one and this one. Now I think I am going to, because it's going to look a little odd if it hasn't, but I'm going to wait and do it once I've done these items in it, and then we can just put the pen on the whole lot rather than me trying to smudge it, or trying not to smudge it. So we're going to come in a little closer and do these items. Hang on, we'll just put you in the middle. Hold on a moment. And try and get you a little bit straighter. There we go. And I just have to try and remember that when I do the pen work, I need to come out so you can see all of this pot. But anyway, I'm going to move on to these today. I think where I'm going to start is the crown, because the colour of that is either going to be gold or silver, and so then that will sort of determine what the rest are doing, really. I can't decide whether to do gold and silver. We did a gold and a silver in our other goblet, and because this is so sort of brassy, I'm wondering whether silver might be better. I'm not so good at colouring silver, but why not? Let's have a go. I need the practice. So let's start with our cold grey 5 and start with the edge of our crown here. I think is a good place to start as any. And just, I want it quite intense here, and then I can sort of start to fade it. You'll have to excuse me a little bit today. I've had a bit of vertigo today, dizziness. It's mainly gone, almost. I've got a little bit remaining. I sometimes get this anyway. I'm not really sure why it's decided to appear today. I have been feeling extremely hormonal, so, and I know it can be. I did some research actually. What on earth's going on here? I did some research, and I think I just do this bottom bit while I ponder, and it can be linked to the menopause and perimenopause, so I'm thinking maybe it's just that. Maybe it's because I'm hormonal, maybe it's an ear thing. You know, as I said, I've had it before quite a lot, so I'm not too worried. It was just not particularly nice, but I'm feeling loads better. I bent down just now to pick something up off the floor, and I just went a teensy bit lightheaded rather than a full-on spinny roundabout mode, which is what I was doing this morning. Right, I'm thinking we'll do this silver, maybe these bits darker. I don't know, I'm just going to play with it. You can do what you want with yours. So yeah, it's getting better, but I was going to go out today and I thought it was probably not a good idea. And then I saw the news that there is a building in town. It's been derelict for years, and it was on fire last night, so I was like, I'd like to go and be nosy and see what you can see. This is cold grey 3. I'm probably only going to use 2 greys. I want to leave this tip here white for shine, but I'm just going to take my grey across a tad more, but not right to the corner like that. I'll worry about that bit after. So I was going to have a nosy at that, but that wasn't the reason I was going out. I'm just nosy, you know me, nosy. But I was going to go out and get my boys' birthday cards, and I need to get one last thing from one of my boys, but it can wait until tomorrow. Husband's not at work tomorrow, so he might want to come with me and choose them anyway. So you know, there's that going on. So, but I was just so I didn't, this morning I was just colouring. It was a bit tricky at times looking down at the page, but I managed. Sorry, I'm just shifting in my chair. Make that a bit darker. Yeah, I managed, and I finished a Maria Trolley page that I was having fun with, and I haven't done Maria Trolley pictures for quite a while, and I did my index page list thingy, colouring index sheet, whatever it is I called it, and I was looking through, I was like, oh, I want to colour that, and I want to colour that. This is back to cold grey 5, and I'm thinking, these bits in here, maybe they're dipped in like that. I don't know. So anyway, you might want to do these as gemstones, and I don't know. So I picked out a picture to do, which I enjoyed, and then I started something else actually, but then we'd had, if you're in the UK, you might be familiar with Octopus Energy. It's a gas and electricity supplier. They've got a thing today running, a scheme, I don't know what to call it, promotion, that's probably it, where if you use more electric than normal between 1 and 2, 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock, then you get it for free. So this is to try and encourage people to use energy at non-peak time. So what I did was I had a couple of towels to wash from where the radiator has been leaking in the bedroom. Fortunately that's been fixed. I'm just thinking, I'm just fiddling and thinking, hopefully you're keeping up. I'm not going to do any shadows under these, they're too teeny, but what I think I'll do is 2 different colours of gemstone. And what goes nicely with silver, well, purple always goes nicely with silver. So I think I'll grab my mauve and do some in mauve. Anyway, where's my sharpener? There. So I thought, right, I'll make use of this. So I put the towels on to wash and mauve, and then I put them in the dryer, but only for half an hour, so they should be finished at 2 o'clock. It'll finish at 2, they won't be done. I'm going to try and fade this up a little bit towards the top. Like that, in the way we've been doing with our other gemstones on this page. I can do these little ones in the same way. And I did my ironing. Irons take up a lot of electricity, so I did some ironing, and some of it was still wet. I just ironed it and popped it back on the air. I think I'm going to do this middle one the colour of the little ones. I think that's going to work. What should we choose? I think I'm going to pick the crimson. I'm just going to sharpen it. So yes, so I did the ironing, and I told the chill, I said, put your phones on charge and all this sort of thing. So we did that, and actually the dishwasher was full after lunch. We finished lunch before 1. So I said, don't put it on yet, I'll put it on so it runs in the hour. I don't know actually how long it takes, but it just seemed to make sense. So whether we actually end up saving a significant amount of money, I've got no idea, but I thought, let's give it a go. You know, there's that. I think that's done. I'm just looking. I'm going to do a little bit of the lighter grey here, cold grey through. I'm being fussy here, but I'm thinking that this bit here could do with just a little bit more there. Then I'm going to get out my trusty black. I've been using a lot of black on this page, haven't we? Just give it a sharpen. And I'm going to use it in a few places. So the bottom of here, a little bit just on a couple of those edges. All my eyes are going funny now. I was finding I was getting a bit blurred vision last night. I'm wondering if it's related to the dizziness or not. I think I was really tired as well, which never helps anyone. I'm going to put it at the top of here. But yeah, as I say, I'm feeling a lot better now. I would have gone out had I not been ironing and then thinking about I'd like to come and do this video. So there's our crown. We'll leave that there. It does need some white pen. As I say, we'll do all the white pen at the end. Now I think I just work across. We're starting with this one. Now this one is one that I've always pondered about, not really been quite sure what to do with. What I think it is a enamel brooch. That's how I'm going to colour it today. So we don't have to do gem colours for this, because we're just going to put some white pen over it to make it look shiny. But I'm figuring this outside bit could be metal. I think we'll do this outside bit as if it were gold. and then go from there. So I'm going to use my burnt umber. I'm going to make sure it's not got orangey in like this one. Where should we put our shine? I'm going to make this the darkest bit here, I think, and then fade it off. Maybe just coming up from there, like that. That's probably plenty. I just fill that bit there. Then I'm going to go right down to my brown ochre, because we're going to keep it quite a yellowy gold, and then, as I say, it won't look so much like this one. Like that, just gently sort of putting it on. And the green gold, which needs sharpening. So yes, while I was ironing, I was watching a Colour with Claire video. I haven't watched any of her videos for ages. I don't really have time to watch videos, making them. I suppose I could when I'm editing, but I don't really do it very much. And I do have time, but I just don't. I was watching her book review. This is Naples Yellow, just for the final touch, of the Colour Yeah book, Petit Tinies, that's what it's called, which I've got as well. It was a really interesting review because something she said, I'm just going to erase just here because a little bit of the colour of the pot gone over the line, just being fussy. Now I was thinking I might use some pastel type colours here that I won't use for gemstones. But what is this? I'm thinking, let's do it as if it's a sort of pink flower with a green background. I don't know if this is going to work actually. I was going to use this colour, but I think it's not going to work with pink. That'll look hideous. Let's do this tone instead. This is the light green. It's much more of a neutral rather than the bluey green. I'm going to do this for the background. Now I want it a fairly intense layer, because if we put white pen on, we want to be able to see the white. So because this is a light colour, I need to layer it up a bit. It might feel like that's a bit pointless. Why not just use a dark one? Well, I want it to look pale and pastel-y, and you can still have an intense pale colour. Just what I mean is you're not seeing lots of white paper through, you're actually just seeing the colour. So yeah, I watched her review, which was interesting, and what was interesting was she said these books are made for markers, these Colour Yeah books, they're not made for pencils. And I thought to myself, that's interesting, because I've tried water-based markers on them and they're rubbish. But she went on to explain that she didn't mean water-based markers, she meant alcohol markers. And that made loads more sense, because they're like very smooth, thick paper. So the pen does bleed through the card, because alcohol markers are vicious. But it doesn't bleed right through to the next page because it's very thick. So that all made sense. And she said, you know, water-based markers eat up the paper, which was exactly my experience, which is why I was like, they don't work. But what she did do was she tried some pencil on the page. I'm going to use this pink. This is the light magenta. Again, quite a pastel-y tone that I wouldn't normally use for gemstones. Oh, I probably have used it somewhere as a sort of fade colour. I'm not making any sense. But not as a main colour, because I think it's too milky to look gemstone-y. Anyway, so she tried some pencils, and what was quite fascinating was, I haven't tried loads of different brands. She tried Prisma and Polly's, and she said she was really surprised at how well Polly's went down, which is what I think I used on there, but I can't completely remember. I've also tried Castell's Soft Touch, they worked, and she was quite surprised at how well it worked. So that was interesting, because I knew it would work, because that's what I use on them. Violet, so you can use pencil, but because it hasn't got much tooth, you can't do a million layers. But you can do a fair amount. Who was it that I was sure that there's some Instagrammers that do them who do a lot of layers in their colouring, and they managed. Now a final touch to this one. Now I want this to look like the enamel is domed over the metal. It's quite hard to do, but the first thing I'm going to do to help that is to put, this is black, sorry, is to put the black just around the edge here to try and make it look like there's a little bit of a shadow coming from our enamel, like this. I'm going to make it a bit less at the top, a bit thinner and lighter if I can. I'm trying to think whether, sorry, I was very silent then for a minute, whether if I grab a darker green and just do a little darker bit around the bottom, whether that would help. I'm going to try it. This is the leaf green. I don't know until I put my white pen on. Not really going to know for sure, but I'm just going to put a little bit of darker green around here. Let's see what happens. It creates some magic. We'll leave that. It doesn't matter if it doesn't work because it looks fine. It doesn't look brilliant, but it looks fine. Right, gemstones. Now we're going to use the same technique we've been using, and hopefully you're feeling more confident. I am, so I hope you are too with doing the various gems. I'm going to do some orange first. I have got a huge range of oranges in our set. So I think it's just going to have to be same old really. So this is dark cadmium orange, and we're going to do this one. I'm going to use a couple of colours. So I'm just trying to work out that bit isn't part of it. It starts here. So start here and just start to fade off like that. And we'll grab our other colour and put it in. This one I'm going to go along this face. It's just getting some different angles where the light is hitting it, really. And it seems to work. There we go. That might not work, but anyway. Oh, I've got an itchy nose again. Why do I get itchy nose? I guess I do get an itch when I'm colouring normally. I just don't have to explain to anyone why I've just suddenly stopped. Oh dear. Oh, I was dreaming this morning about how I'd love a little colouring room, because someone once said, can I see your colouring setup? Or a lot of people want to see. Like, no. My my recording room, which is I'm in now, is just a clutter room. It's our office, I call it, but really it's our junk room. I know, it's just full of stuff. Cadmium orange, slightly lighter shade, just to extend some of these areas a little bit. So don't go over the real darkest bit, because you want to keep that really vibrant, but just take the colour up. I'm sure we use this for one up here. I'm showing you. Why can't you see? So yes, it's got all sorts in it, but there's nowhere else to put stuff. So I was sort of dreaming that, imagine if I had, millions of pounds, I could get my own studio. But I was like, no, I don't think I want my own studio. I'm going to fill that right in. Now normally I leave some white, but because I think if I don't fill that right there and leave that bit white, it's going to look like a bit old, in my opinion. You might prefer to leave it. I like the fact that I'm really close to family. I need to be at home, so I can't have a studio outside the home, so that's just a no-no. If people are coming, doorbell rings, phone rings, blah blah blah, I'm here, I can deal with it, so I have to be here. So there's no question of me working outside the home. I mean, I was thinking about having to do that at one point. You may have remembered me saying about it. I'm going to use a really dark green for my next one. This is the deep cobalt green. Oh, I'm just sorry. I was just thinking about some black. What I'm going to do, I think I'll colour them all and then put a bit of black in at the end, because I do a similar thing with the black on them all. Maybe I'll do that. Let me just pop the black there to remind me. Just move my pencils aside. So yeah, there are other reasons as well, but there are reasons that I can't work outside the home. I was thinking of doing it because with husband only working part-time now and things like that, you know, yes, we have got less money, but fortunately I have begun to make more, partly due to people's very generous donations, partly through a bit more coming through YouTube and affiliates and things like that. There's been a variety of different reasons that it's been increasing, which has been fantastic. So thank you to you if you contributed in any way you have, whether you've watched a video, commented, liked, gone to my socials, sent a donation, anything like that. Every little thing like that helps. So I'm really, really grateful. So thank you so much. So that's helped a lot. But also, I'm just looking for a blue, by the way. Let's go for this one. This is the Helio Turquoise. It's not dissimilar to that colour. I'm going down here next, but I do need to sharpen it. So that's good, but there we go, Helio Turquoise. So my other option was to find some work from home. Now, unfortunately, I used to do freelance writing, as you may be aware. While alongside running this channel, I used to find the time to do both. But that work, trying to work out what to do here, that work is sort of dried up because of AI, I think. Why get an expensive native English speaker to do a job? They used to, some companies would employ foreigners instead who didn't have English as necessarily as their first language, but I'm just bringing this in a little bit. But I'm not sure I like that very much. I'm going to go over it a bit. But it was enough to fulfill their requirements. But now an AI can do that, and you know, I just haven't seen any jobs. So that's partly it as well. Red. I could do this one in red. Now I think, just going to point that there, I think is part of this one. I think it could potentially be that big. So this little one here we'll do red, and then we'll do this one here and there, and I've got to remember to do that bit down there. I'm just going to grab a nice looking red. This is the deep scarlet red. I'm being quite random with my choices. To be honest, it doesn't always matter that much. I'm going to fade this one up like this. I know we used a couple of colours in this one. Some of them, it's just not really the space. There was there, and perhaps I should have done. Never mind. Yeah, so those jobs don't exist anymore. I did have a lovely suggestion from someone who said I should do art subscription boxes and send them out. Now this was like Scrawlbox do, or companies like that. And she said, you know, you could just do a few at first and see how it took off. And I sort of said, this is a good idea. I have thought about this a lot, to be honest, that there's a market for it. That's a fantastic idea. But you need somewhere to store all the stuff, you know, all the materials. It's also a bit of an investment risk. This is manganese violet for this big one. Because I've got a bit of that there and a bit of that there. I think I'm going to start here. I didn't use manganese for that. It's quite similar, isn't it? It was a pink, wasn't it? It was crimson, that's right. So that sort of fade there. And I'm going to fade this one down towards the crown as well, like that, and just fade it off. I think that will be okay. Doesn't matter that the shine bit would sort of be in the middle. I think it's fine. Now this one, just going to do it a little bit lighter than the one below, like that. I think I want it to show up, and the same under here, just like a light bit, and then we can play up here a bit more. I'm going to start dark here. So I was thinking, yeah, it would be lovely. I can imagine loving this if you sort of got a little colouring book and a set of sort of a few pencils, different brands each time, different books each time, and you know, I could do some tutorials from the book and it would be lovely. But it's just the logistics of it, you know, getting the materials and shipping them out, obviously, and oh, that corner. I'm getting carried away. So we're getting increasingly dark here, so I think I'll make this really dark down here and then put it up there. There we go. And maybe this one will sort of fade up to there like that, just a tad down there, so it looks different. Yeah. Yes, fantastic idea, lovely idea. I'm going to use the fuchsia pink next, but it's just, as I say, you've got to buy the stock, you've got to decide, you know, what do you, fuchsia, you know, there are brands that don't do open stock, so what do? Do you send everyone different colours, or do I buy a 120 set of Castell Soft Touch and then send everyone a different bunch of colours from it? I don't think that would work. You know, so it's like, yeah, it's a, you know, you'd have to buy something that was ready to open stock and buy everyone the same. But, and then the tutorials would work because you'd have the right colours, that sort of thing. It's a lovely idea. But I'm just sort of fading that up and back. There we go. But it's just, I think that bit might be pink, might not be. No, it's not really that long, but it's pink now. There we go. Now this one's very odd and it's sort of diamond shape, but there's no lines. I think I'm going to just draw some lines in, because otherwise I just don't know what to do with it. I'm going to use more of a dark blue, because this was more of a turquoisey colour. This is cobalt blue-greenish, such a nice long new one. And I'm going to, as I say, draw a line in there and then just work my way down to here like that. And then draw one in here and do that. It's not very inventive because I'm just copying what I've done for the others, but I think it sort of matches there, matches up. And we'll put a white pen line across. You won't even notice that Johanna didn't draw it. Well, maybe. Just fade that bit, and that bit a bit. There we go. I think that needs to be a bit darker. There. We have a few coins stuffed around here as well. We'll deal with those in a bit. We'll get this one done next. I'm just noticing, observing as I go. What have we got? Oh, we've got a burnt carmine or a... no, we've got pinks and blues. Perhaps we need a green. Let's do the emerald green. I've done one of those for a bit. Oh, it is sharp. I don't know why I thought we needed sharpening. It's not too bad. Emerald green. Because I sort of thought, you know, what can you buy open stock? You can buy Prismas, you can buy Polys, you can buy some different Derwents. I suppose it will keep you going, but I don't even know if there would be a year's worth before you sort of ran out of open stock. I mean, I guess you could get small packets, like, you know, and Stedler tend to do smaller packets that are cheapish and things like that, but... And then the colouring material, the colouring book, you know. I mean, obviously each time you could pop in a sharpener or a pencil, an eraser, I mean, or something like that, or a blending pencil, you know, different materials like that as well. You could really build up your colouring collection. It would be a lovely thing to have, to subscribe to. So if anyone wants to do it, I'll subscribe. No, I don't know. I can't say as I definitely will, to be honest. It's I have quite the collection already. So yeah, I'm managing to accumulate a lot of lovely things. This is the Delft blue, and I'm going to use it for this one here. I may choose to have a second colour. I've got a blue there, but this is purpley. That's why I picked this one. And actually, if we avoid having the same colours together, it almost looks more contrived, you know? Do you think the dragons have sort of purposely organised this bowl? It really looks like someone's just scooped up a handful of things and thrown it in. Do you not think? I do. But anyway, but yes, a lovely idea. I think it's Melissa who said that, but not at the moment. Yeah, and what colouring books would you throw in? You know, if you bought something like Small Victories and then put in some pencils and eraser, it would be really quite expensive. I think maybe it would have to be quarterly, not monthly, to make it affordable, especially if it's being posted abroad. Postage is wicked, yeah, wicked. It's a term my mum uses. These days kids use it for a positive thing. Although, no, I don't think kids use the term, to be fair, now. When I was at school, well, my mum used to use it to say something bad, you know, which is fair enough. And then it became a sort of positive thing, didn't it? Wicked. I don't know whether it's actually used much at all now in that sort of context. It's quite dark in that bit there, isn't it? Lighten that up. I'm gonna stop and have a sip of coffee. I brought my coffee in with me. Just what you need to hear is me slurping coffee. I'll give you a minute to catch up anyway. Yeah, I brought it in because I knew it would go cold otherwise, and yeah, there we go. Oh, it's the last bit. I wasn't even paying attention to what I was doing. I'm going to finish my coffee while I think about these coins. These two are against here, so I'm thinking maybe silver, but then we don't want them all the same colour, as we haven't. The ones at the bottom were mixed up. I'm also thinking, do we want to do them exactly the same colours as we did the ones at the bottom? I don't think so. We'll mix it up a little bit, I think. I'm thinking we probably only used one, maybe two colours for each one. I'm just examining them. I probably used a bit of black on that one, I can see. Okay. Let's choose some colours while I'm supping. What would you use? I think I might use Cold Grey 5 and use that for both. Maybe one could be a slightly lighter silver than the other. I'm going to start with my Cold Grey 5, my cup of tea in my other hand, coffee even. It's a very weak coffee with some soy milk in it. The top, where should I put the shine? Could I put that shine? I think it would be up here. I'm going to make that bit a little bit darker and then just fade it up to the top where I think it would be catching the light up there, where it's sticking up out of our container. And now I think I'll use a lighter one for the other next coin. So this is the Cold Grey 3. And pop it in there and fade it up. This line confuses me, because if we're looking straight on we wouldn't see the edge of the coin. We would there, but I think it would stop there. But anyway, once I fiddle around with my white pen, it might look completely different. Now these two I'm thinking green gold. Where is it? We've used it already, haven't we? I'm also having a think about the butterfly. Now in the story, the butterfly gets very smoky from the dragons. Put a bit of shine there. So we could do it grey and smoky. It's a much easier way to colour it than to... It's like a rim, isn't it? I'll colour that lighter, make this bit a bit darker. So we could do it grey and smoky, which would be easy, or we could do it colourful, which would be hard with it being so small. I had considered doing it metallic looking, but it's got a gold outline, and I don't know whether that's why the dragons have got it, or whether the dragons haven't got it and it just happens to have flown there. Right, that's my coffee finished. You don't have to hear me drinking anymore. So I'm going to use the cold grey 5. No, I'm not. Sorry if you started, don't worry. We're not going that far away. We're going to warm grey 6. So I'm thinking a warm grey, not a cold grey, because he's not silver. He, she, the, they. So that's quite dark. I'm thinking I'll go with a slightly lighter grey for the body. You don't, if you'd rather. So here we go on a warm grey 4. If you'd rather do the butterfly so it didn't look dirty and smoky, then you can do something different. I also think it's quite fun that it's hidden. It's small and you can't see it. And if we do a brick wall behind in grey stone brick type things, which is potentially what I'm going to be doing, then there we go. I'm just doing my white, so I thought I would, there we go, come out so I can do the whole thing. If we are doing grey brick wall or just grey wall smoky or whatever, it'll disappear back even more, and for me I think that's a bonus. I'm thinking I'm going to start on that side and work across. We'll actually start with this. I'm thinking all around the edge of this handle I just want to cover up this black line and then have a little think about what I'm doing with this whole bowl I can't speak, this bowl, no, this container. There we go. Now let's have a think. I'm thinking I want to take out that a bit because it's on the top, so it might be catching the light, same as this bit. I'm sort of thinking about whether I leave any in to help create the shadow look, or whether I just take it all out. I'm just looking, sitting back and having a look, and I'm thinking, yeah, I'm gonna take a lot of it down, toning it down. I'm not necessarily gonna layer and layer to get rid of it, so it'll still be there, but just a little bit less intrusive, less dark, like that. Now also the top of the bowl itself, like that. Down the side. Now this ornate pattern here, I'm not really thinking that I want to go right over all of that, but that's the edge of our bowl. I'm just having a think. See, in this ornate pattern here, the black line can help to serve as the shadow, the same as here, so I think I might just put it on the top here. Let's go around this. It takes quite a bit of concentration, this pen work. We leave that one because it's shadow. Now remember, I wanted to make this look like a brooch, so I'm going to draw in a really large area of white there and then sort of colour it in. Now this is going to need a selection of applications because pen's not working, because it's not going to cover it all with one layer. So there, and I'm going to put a little line on this side too, and I'll come back and recolour that later. But at the moment we can go back and start working on the lines here. And just, we didn't do any black. I'm going to stop and do some black. I'm sorry. Where's the black? I'm sure I've used it. Oh, it's here. I put it here to remind me to use it. I should put it next to the white pen, shouldn't I? Oh dear. Right. I'm going to add a few little touches here and there. This orange one's quite tricky because the black can look very black rather than shadowy, if that makes sense. Just do it really gently. There we go, and I'll be quite a bit of shadow underneath this crown here. Here I think. We've done it on the crown already, haven't we? We just left it on these to do it all up to forget. Got there. Remembered it eventually. Before it was too late and we got pen all over it. Thinking a little bit of shadow in there. I find it's quite interesting how much of a difference this little bit of black makes. There we go. Right. Now, oops. My pen's running away, pencil's running away over the desk. And now, just going over the black lines bit by bit. Now that bit over there might have dried on the brooch by now. I'm going to just, whoops, missed this line completely. I'm going to just finish the orange one and then I'll go and see if I can put a bit more down. I was actually doing some pen work this morning. Yes, I was doing some clouds and I was using a Posca and I actually found that I swapped to a jelly roll and the jelly roll was much better, but I'm sure Poscas are as good, but I think it may have just been that it was running out. Now the reason you have to wait for it to dry is, I guess it's the same as any paint. If you try and go over the top, it takes it off rather than adds a layer on top if it's wet. So you just have to be a bit patient, which I'm not, and wait and just gently layer it up if it's dry a bit in between coats. It's just like normal wall paint. Now the background for this page, there will be one. I will be sort of drawing in the brick wall. Now I probably won't draw it in. I'll probably either use a stencil or well, that's tricky. It almost extinguishes them if you're not careful. Extinguishes. So I will probably either use a stencil or just colour it, just do a plain grey. I haven't decided yet, and I'm not going to decide until I've done the other page. Now, after today's video, this page will be almost done, this side, and we'll move on to the other side. I'm not sure whether that will be in this video or the next one. I will decide in a bit. But then I'll come back and finish this wall at the very end, I think. That's my current plan, anyway. Here the black lines serve as a shadow, but this one at the bottom doesn't. Take that one out. Like that. Come back here and do it all there. Now I'm thinking our basin, what is it? And I have a dark, taking out this top line here. Up to there for now, so I don't rub it off. I think I'm going to go up here actually. Might go top to bottom, it might be a little bit easier. Now this is the one where I imagined the lines. I just draw them in white and it looks fine. I'm happy. So that's good. I think the next page is even more tricky or intricate than this page, which is going to be interesting, because not only have we got a bowl of bits and bobs and some bits and bobs built on the table, we've also got a big chest full of stuff, and there's the candelabra, there's more wall hangings, there's all sorts going on. So it's definitely going to have a lot, and it's going to take quite some time to do that one. Now on the last ones I've done like this, I've done a second layer of white, so I'll see if I need it at the end. It's quite tricky though to go back over it without smudging, so I shall have to concentrate, or without taking off what's there if it's not fully dry, one or the other. It's challenging either way. I'm just going to do this one in here so I don't forget. And I'm looking at that crown thinking maybe I need to do this bit because it really stands out. I don't know. I'll have a think. Done all this. Now I'm going to do across the top here next. That's right. And then across the top of this one. I think it would catch the light. A fiddly work. Maybe just the top of some of these details. Oh, I've got an itchy foot. Oh, that's funny. Oh, it's very old on the top of my toe. Very old. But at least I'm not dizzy now, which is great news. Yeah, I've suffered from vertigo for quite a long time on and off, and I did have some physio to move the crystals about my ears to try and stop it, and that was really good. And although it helped initially, it's come back a little bit, but just comes back in little bouts and goes away again. So it's fantastic. I couldn't thank the physio enough who did that for me, because it was so debilitating, because I just had days when I couldn't go out and I couldn't eat, or I just felt rotten, you know, and every time I turned into bed, over in bed I was on a roundabout, you know, spinning. It was just quite nasty. But now it's, as I say, I don't get it that often, so that's really good. So happy. And it's a strange sort of physiotherapy exercise, and actually you can find it online. So if you suffer, because I was looking the other day, because my father-in-law's, funnily enough, got vertigo at the moment, and I was looking at the exercises, and then he said he thinks it was because he was messing around with his tablet dosage. So I thought, well, better not, that won't help him then, you know, because it's got nothing to do with the crystals in his ear moving around. So I left it, I'm thinking top of here, and but there were 4 or 5 different exercises, but what I tend to do is sorry, I'm just thinking, I'm just going to do the edge, I think. Yeah, I tend to just do the one that I was shown, but I think perhaps it's probably wise to go to a doctor first and just get them check you out, because it depends what's called. There are all sorts of different things that could cause it. My husband was looking them up this morning which was scary. He's like, oh, it could be high blood pressure or low blood sugar or low blood pressure or blocked arteries or this or that or the other. He said, let me take your blood pressure. He said, oh, it's 133/80. Oh, that's really high. Because he took his was 107/80. I'm like, no, yours is really low. I mean, mine's slightly higher than average, but really, you're making me panic. It's very hard to relax having my blood pressure taken when someone was telling you had the blocked arteries to your brain. But if it doesn't get any better, of course, I will go and see a doctor. But as I say, it's already better. I often find the little bouts, they get better through the day. I don't know why that is. That's what I have observed. I hope you'll follow. I'm not really telling you what I'm doing. I'm just covering lines. I think I need to do these two at the bottom. I think doing a few bits of the goblet has helped, but I am feeling that those little round leafy designs at the top look like they need something. I'm sort of avoiding doing them, but I think they do, and I think they just need, now I've got a wet pen everywhere, a bit on the top. Like that. I'm just going to do the top. Now I wonder whether we would have got much free electricity. Basically they credit it back to your bill, I think. I think that's how they were going to do it, I'm not sure. So we'll find out. It probably usually takes a few days. But my dad is with the same company, but he can't use these offers because you have to have a smart meter, because they have to measure accurately what electricity you're using. So he says he doesn't want one because he said so many tales of them going wrong, including me. Mine went wrong. My gas one doesn't work at all. Right, I am happy. I am feeling happy with that, but there's a few little tweaks before I finish. So I've got my black pencil and I'm going to do a little bit of shadowing behind here. Let me just pull this down a tad, because where they're all overlapping, it looks a bit of a mishmash. So I'm going to try and put a little bit of shadow behind some of them. Now it almost feels like I'm defeating the object of taking out the black lines, because I'm drawing shadow in, but I'm just trying to make sure that we can see what is what, and I'm hoping that you won't really notice these lines. It will just help it stand out. We'll see how well it works in a minute. I'm just doing it without really looking. Probably not a good idea. Obviously I'm looking at what I'm colouring, but I'm not looking at the impact as a whole yet. I think that's a bit better actually. We can see the crown pretty clearly. Let's just do that. We can see that's in front of that. Yeah, I think that's better. I'm happy with that now. So I'm going to leave that there. I will zoom out so we can see the whole sort of page. I'm still a little bit unsure as to whether to go around the edge of the beads. Just trying to move it down. Oh, let's come out a tad. There we go. But probably not. But there we go. There is our first half done. I'm hoping I can put together a compilation video of just this bit for my members. Haven't been able to yet because it's been taking quite a long time. The videos are quite long, so I haven't been able to get that ahead with my recording, but I should be able to soon. My plan is to go straight on and do the next page, but there may be a day or two's break if I get something cropping up that I want to slot in. But might be able to do that in the morning. I'm just pondering. Sorry, you don't really need to hear my ponderings, but anyway, that is the page. I'm really pleased. I hope you're having fun with it. And as I say, it obviously needs a background, but I'm thinking probably something very, very pale, because I want everything to sort of stand out. It's not straight. I can't work out how to make it straight. I think that's it. I don't know. I want all our gems and everything to stand out, so I'm not sure yet, but we'll get there. But thank you for watching. Hope that you have a really lovely day and happy colouring.